just off the bat here, we have a quick little disclaimer on, this is not investment advice in any fashion. Any trades I'm placing here are just for example purposes as we go through the platform. So let's get into it. Let's do some futures trading. So, you might be experienced, you might be a beginner. We're going to kind of start it off simple and then maybe go into some more advanced stuff. If I don't cover anything you would love to see, be sure to toss in the chat or I'll open it up for QA at the end. But something I really want to start you guys all off with here is our help center for futures trading. Let me go ahead and just make this a little smaller. So if we go to the main website for tastytrade.com, there's also a way to get to the help center through the platform. But if we're on the main website and we click on help center, get taken to the help center. And then I want you all, this is a super, definitely bookmark this link here, CME, type in CME. And then you're going to see two links here. You're going to see options on futures specifications, and then you're going to see outright futures contracts, both specifications page. Right now, let's just talk about the outright contracts. We'll talk about options later. But if you want to look at this article, you click on it. And now within our article here, we're going to get a breakdown on all of the available fruit futures, almost just said fruit products. Sadly, we don't have any fruit futures, but we do have corn and soybean futures and also currency. We got some energy futures, indices, volatility like VIX futures, interest rates, metals, cryptocurrencies, and recently we just added in lean hog too. So we got some livestock futures as well. So all some great information here. On the left side, you're going to get the symbol for each of these products. So if you're not sure, and maybe, I don't know if the yellow is the best contrast here, but if you see here on these arrows, we're pointing to the symbol for corn. So say you were searching for it on our chart in the platform, you're typing in /ZC or /CS. Now with futures, there's multiple contract months for each contract. The platform, if you just type in /ZC or /CS or whatever futures contract, just the code, it's going to default you to the active month for that contract. So, and one more thing before I show you how we're pulling that up on the platform. One point that someone asked earlier, Lewis, is the requirements. If you're trading outright futures by themselves, like say you buy one corn contract, how much buying power is getting held up? What are the requirements for that contract? Well, as of right now, if you were to buy one long corn contract future, you are going to get a buying power requirement of 2,846. Now that's if you only position on corn right now. So that would be your margin requirement for corn. But if we look at mini corn futures /XC, that is actually about, what is that, like a sixth the size or so? So definitely a smaller contract, less of a requirement. So that's why, the CME built a lot of these smaller contracts or the mini contracts. And so if you're working in a smaller account size, you can still get exposure to these markets, or at least these futures markets. So as we scroll through, we can go down and check out our other products, some very popular ones like the E-mini S&P futures. One of the bigger contracts in buying power right now, if you wanted to open a long contract, is 15,400. But on the flip side, you want to trade the same exact future, just a tenth of the size or a tenth of the leverage there, you can instead do MES, and that's only 1,540. So, smaller sizes, you got quite a different range, a lot of different product types. Definitely save this page. And one thing, as we're just talking about overnight requirements as well, that you can check out in the Help Center is intraday futures margin. So Pete sent that out in the chat there. While you're, say you're a day trader for futures, you're kind of going in and out of positions in your futures between the day, you can get margin relief by having intraday futures margin. And then you can potentially, based on your account size, get up to a 4x leverage more, so a quarter of the requirement for these contracts. So imagine you opened S&P, an E-mini S&P future in the middle of the day today. It would only require a quarter of 15,400. So what's that, like 3,600 or something like that? But yeah, you can get better margin rates there. So Let's go over some other stuff here. Pete's going to help answer your question there, Lewis, but let's get onto the platform now. Let's stop talking about the help center. So let's close that up. And let's get into the platform. So right now, let's just set up, if we're wanting to trade futures, either we can look up that sheet there on the help center, or instead we can pull up our futures watch list too. So on the left side here is our watch list panel. And one of our preset watch lists here is called Futures All. And if you're trading futures, very useful watch list to have up as you are going across the platform. We also have, I think there's, you can filter out between larger contracts, the micros as well. So if you want to look at the, smaller contracts here, we can see /XC at the bottom. That was our micro corn, or where is that? MES2, that was our micro S&P futures. So definitely good watch list to have open as you are looking at a chart on your future symbols. So let's pull that up really quick. If we go to a chart tab over here, this little chart icon there. It's our big chart. Hover your mouse over too. It's going to show you the name. Let's click on chart. As we're clicking through symbols on our watch list, maybe we want to look at micro crude oil /MCL, where my mouse is here on the left. If we click on this row or on the symbol, that's going to make micro crude oil our active symbol at the top of the header. We can see the name at the top of the platform. So we can see, hey, micro crude oil right here. The active contract right now is the June contract. So we're trading the June 23rd. If you know the product month codes of future months, you can type in the monthly code manually here. But for the most part, you're sticking to the active months. You can just type in /MCL at the top here, press enter. And same thing, it's going to default you to this contract. Say if we did /XC there, we were talking about mini size corn. We can see that right now the active month for that is July. So it'll default to the active month for us, which is really nice. Other information on the future is going to be at the top. We can look at the IV rank for this month, the last price. So corn right now actually closed at, what was it, 115, 125. But if we look at maybe MES here at the top, we'll see that this product's actually still trading right now, up until about 4 o'clock. So I'm sure Pete can toss in our hours there. So we also have the change in price for the day, or from the start of the session, previous session, bid and ask for the contract, the volume of contracts traded today, and then the name. So nice to just, as we're perusing around, checking out different symbols, we can keep pulling them up. We're seeing that our chart now is showing the contract that we're looking at. So if we wanted to look at the, micro 30-year future, we can check that out in our chart here. So let's get on to placing a trade here. Let's do a little micro S&P. So let's place a trade on MES right now. Maybe we want to buy one contract in MES. Looks like it's, it's been a little bit of a hectic day, but maybe we're looking to buy the bottom. So let's give it a try. Let's buy a contract here. And you might be thinking off the bat, again, like, where is the buy button? How am I buying this contract? Well, the classic tasty trade strategy here is to look for the bid and ask. Wherever you see bid and ask on the platform, that's going to be where you're placing an order. So we can either click on the bid and ask in our watch list here. So these different columns here. So we see all the bids for these contracts, all the asks. All of these are buttons. So if you click on them, it's going to do something. Same with the buttons here at the top, bid and ask at the top of the platform. Those are buttons for entering an order. If you saw our stock demo earlier or are familiar with placing a stock order, it's essentially the same exact thing, except that you're pulling up a futures symbol instead of a stock order. You're placing an outright contract or outright shares. It's the same methodology when you're opening. And then lastly, just one other area where you can see the bid and ask is on a right side panel. So to expand that, there's a little arrow here in the top right. So check out that arrow, check it out in the top right corner. You should see it over there. But so as we click on the bid or ask, we're either selling or buying. And one thing I like to say is that, it's not as intuitive where bid, oh, click on that, we're selling, click on ask, it's buying. Why does bid have a B in it? And it doesn't mean to buy. Well, it's this definition of the word, so it doesn't help. But if you want to sell, we're clicking on the bid price here. If you want to buy, you're clicking on the ask price. So if we wanted to buy one MES future, we can click on the ask price up here at the top of the platform in the active symbol header, or we can just click it in the watch list here. Just for example purposes, let's do the watch list. So I'm clicking on the ask price, the 4,075 right now. Once we click on that, apologies for my completely slow computer today, we will get an order ticket for one outright future. Now, by default, it's going to open up our trade table here, which might be a little distracting for you. You're like going, hey, I'm not trading options, I'm just trading outright future. All you need to worry about is our order ticket here at the bottom. And especially if you're just trading outright futures, the active trader mode that we'll touch in a second is really great for this too. But so at the bottom here, we're getting our order ticket for buying one MES future. We get a breakdown of the transaction. We see, okay, there's our product right there. We're buying it. There's one share. And then also, one delta is equivalent to one contract here. And then we can also see on the far right, the BP effect. So if you remember our little sheet that we looked at earlier, you'll see that the margin requirement on that column, on that Hope Center article, is the same exact as this number right here. It might move intraday depending on CME's requirements, but for the most part, like they're pretty stagnant unless the market's going absolutely nuts. But prone to change. We also have a couple different selections here on quantity. So maybe if we wanted to buy 2 contracts, we could click on the arrow here on the right to go to 2. And now we see highlighted here 2 contracts, or we can use these arrows here too. Maybe we want to go back down to 1. You click on this arrow on the left or back down to 1 contract. Next, we have our price for our order. So it's just right now I'm defaulting to the mid price. It's going to keep updating based on where that mid price is at. If I wanted to, stop it from moving around based on the mid price, you can either type in a number, click on these arrows here, or there's also a lock button on the right side here where you can lock in the price and stop it from moving. That way you can make sure, hey, I want to make sure when I click review and send, it's a price that I want, not moving around based on the mid there. So if we wanted to buy this contract, maybe we will place it. Let's do like 375. Or actually no. Let's just place it at the mid, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, let's just place it at the mid price here, which is 4,074.50. If we then look at the right side here, there's order types here. We can set it as a limit order, a market order, stop market, and stop limit. Market order, we send that order. It's just going to get filled at the best available market price. And I see Jeffrey, can you place a trade directly from the chart? Yes, I will go over that. That's our grid mode that I believe was it. Trying to remember his name. Maybe it was Bill if you're still here, but someone had alluded to that. Yes, you can place trades on the chart in grid mode. And then we also have a stop market order here that will, based on a certain stop point, if it hits your stop trigger, then it's going to route a market order, fill at the best market price. And then stop limit, kind of the same dig. It hit a certain stop point, and then it triggers a limit order in the market. And then we just have a classic limit order too. For this one right now, let's just send a classic limit order. We'll set it at the mid price here. And let's click on review and send. So we're good with our order. Looks good. Get rid of our drawing too. So in our trade confirmation, always like to double check that we are doing what we're looking to do. In this case, we're buying a future. One BTO stands for buy to open. You see BTC, that stands for buy to close. For futures here, you're always going to see BTO or STO. So for, stock or equity options, you're going to see BTO, STO when you're doing opening trades, or BTC, STC when you're placing closing legs or closing trades. In the case of futures, it's always like, the idea here is that you're always opening, but you're just offsetting current positions. So if you open a long future and then you proceed to open a short future, those two cancel out. And now you're net, you don't have any open position. You just closed it out. So that's why you always see a BTO symbol or STO, independent of if you're opening or closing the trade. It's a point of confusion, but good to keep track of. In our order ticket here, we can check out the price that we're placing our trade at, the time in force that we want. We could set it as a day, or I believe GTC as well. So good till canceled, keep resting until the next day too. And then we also see our commissions and fees for this trade, which is added up here on the right. And then our buying power effect. So if we wanted to edit this trade, go back, change the price, we could click on edit order. Or if we're ready to send it, we click on send order. If I absolutely, I'm going back, I'm like, oh, dang, this is a terrible trade. Click on clear order, it'll get off your screen. So in this case, let's send our order. Let's get it going. Boom. Okay, nice. In our top left, we had our working order and we got filled. So where does that position show up? We're still in the trade tab. So you can check out that position here. If we go to the positions tab, click on positions. And then also something you might not notice off the bat is if you don't have this filter selected, you're not going to see your outright futures positions. So make sure you got that selected. And now we see our /MES position is placed in our purple account. So we got the little purple dot next to it. But now we can see our open contract on MES. So we just opened it up. We're tracking it. Oh, come on, Zoom, get that drawing off there. There we go. $1 billion company. Still hard to draw. Crazy stuff over here. But in your positions tab, you're going to check out the price of the underlying. You're also, but good joke, Bill, but I wish I could say the same. But with MES, you can see the change in price as well, minus 33 there. It's down 33 points for the day. And then we're going to see all of our position tab columns here. So right now I have change in price. So that's the percentage change in price for the underlying. So crude oil's gone up 0.16%. P&L open for the position, P&L open percent. So we see that, MES ended up continuing to trade a little bit down based on our fill price. So we're at a $1.25 loss if we were to close it out at the current mid price. We get some more columns here that might be more applicable to options trading, like delta, theta, days until expiration, but you can filter all these different columns here just to show you quickly. We go over it in our overview video, but just to show you, you can click on this gear icon in the top right and play around and change out these different columns. Most applicable, I've definitely like trade price is one that I might have dragged off there for our last demo. I'll definitely toss trade price up there. You can see where you opened at. A lot of other good stuff. Quote last. Generally, these are kind of the main ones. I get quote net change percent, P&L open, got my Greeks, days until expiration, mark trade price, P&L day maybe, beta, IVR, all good columns to have. Can you display open interest for futures? So you can, there is a charting indicator. I'll show it a little later, Bill, but we're just going to continue on with talking about the trade here. But if we wanted to view well, I guess in this case, maybe I know someone was talking about, hey, can you place a bracket order? So, and you're thinking, hey, what's a bracket order? Well, that's setting up it's called a one cancels the other, one triggers, one cancels the other order. The idea there is that you have an order or a position and you're able to place two orders on both sides, either, setting a stop below, take profit above, or vice versa, depending on what you're doing there. So if you wanted to set up a bracket order in this case, maybe we're like, hey, opened up this position in MES. I want to set a stop point and a take profit point. I don't want to have to track this myself. You can left click on a position in your positions tab, like right here. Or actually right click, not left click, or well, left click first and then right click. So it's right all along. And then you'll see this bracket button here. You can click on bracket. And now we get a bracket order window. Hope you guys all see this. So on our right side here, if Zoom lets me draw, we have our close at profit order up here, and then our stop loss order right here. So, if you're looking to place a stop loss at the bottom or close profit up top, you can do that here. So, set a close limit price above where it's currently trading at, and then also a stop loss order below too. So brackets are really great, especially with futures trading 24/7 too, you're probably asleep for most of the time or well, 23/5, sorry, not 20. I was thinking of crypto there for a second. 23/5, depending on the product type. But generally, you got European hours, you got people trading in China while you're sleeping, yada, yada. It's nice to set up some of these orders, maybe go to sleep a little easier. I know that I've had some open futures positions without resting orders and didn't get too much sleep that night, but I'm sure you're all aware. So now that we have our position here and just before the market closes, I'm just going to show you quickly how we can close this position. Maybe I'll show off the active trader tab here, show you how we can do that. So if we wanted to go to the active trader tab, this is really great for futures trader. It's under this trade tab on the left here. So I remember someone asking earlier, and just to show you where I clicked. So we went to trade here, and then it's this active mode. And then also one thing that I did earlier, I pulled up the watch list, do futures all. And now you can see all your futures products. Or you can do your tailored watch list too if you have a handful of products you like to trade. But generally, I'll stick to futures all. While you're in here, you're going to see any open positions marked down here. And I remember, oh yeah, what I was getting to. Someone was asking about depth of market too, or level 2 market data, kind of that trading ladder that you would think of. We do not have level 2 market data on our platform right now. It's something that we've considered. Maybe we'll look to add down the line, but we'll definitely pass it on to our development management team. Let them know that people are looking for it. But yeah, definitely a highly requested feature there. But there's definitely some complications with it, added complications. But to get back to the demo here, we can look and see our position on MES. We got one long contract. We can see, hey, where did we buy that contract out? So we bought it at 4,074.50. We can see the change for the day. And then we can also start to place orders here on the right at the bid and ask. So this is actually one area in the platform where it says, sell next to bid and buy next to ask. So nice little mental double check if you ever get stuck. But if we wanted to place an order to sell our contract here, we got 6 minutes left before the future session closes or takes a break for the day, a little dinner time. Or well, yeah, oh, it's Friday. Wow. Or no, it's Thursday. Oh, I thought it was Friday, Pete. Thought it was Friday. You got me, Bill. You're tripping me up, my friend. I'm joking. But if we wanted to sell this contract, we can click on the bid price here. So for selling, click on the bid. And now we have a sell order queued up here in the active trader mode. You're going to see a breakdown of the sell order. We're -1. We're selling this contract. Here's the limit price we're placing at. And if we want to send it, we click send. Or, you could type in a price there. But the idea here is that as the market is moving around on the symbol, you can see the last price here jumping up and down. And then also our basis where we bought it at here on that right side. As we're adjusting our order, we can left click and drag and change around where we want this order price is. If we want it at, set it super high, I want to sell it once it's, traded up quite a bit. You can set it at 40.80 above. Let's just do that right now. Let's just send the order. Send it. Boom. So now we have a working order and we see it here on the active trader tab. And what's really nice and something that's kind of similar to functionality on our charts, so now we have our working order there. If we wanted to quickly change the price of this order, all you got to do is left click, drag and drop. And boom, we're out of that last order. We're working a new one. You want to adjust it again really quickly. Boom, we're out of the order. We're at a new one. So if you're really trying to get those quick, you don't want to have to type in, you don't want to have to press a bunch of buttons. That's where you want to stick on, active traders when you're going quick. There's also, and just let's get a fill. So if we drag our working order down, maybe we'll get a little bit below where last price is trading at right now. Let's set it right there. Boom, nice. We got the ding. We got filled. We were out of our old order. We worked the new one. We got filled to close. Sensational. Love to see it. So yeah, active trader, super quick, fantastic tool if you're trying to get in and out of trades. There's also a safety mode here. And, definitely have some caution. But for those of you living on the wild side, looking to just one-click trade, you can turn off safety mode, and clicking on the bid or ask here is just going to fire an order right away, based on your default settings here on the left. But if you're really trying to scalp quickly or something along those lines, you can play around with that. I generally just keep it on. It's you don't want to misclick and then not do too hot. But so let's check out, now that we closed our order there, let's check out, kind of like reconcile what just happened. So if we wanted to see what we ended up on our profit or loss, maybe we just did the manual math in our head, but maybe we can go to the history tab down here. So this little icon down at the bottom, history tab, we can click on history here, and we'll be taken to our transactions for today. You can filter this by symbol. If you only wanted to look at trades in MES, you can type it in, click enter. Same with transaction types. So you'll see like deposit withdrawals, corporate actions, symbol changes, all that jazz, dividend payments, interest payments, ACATs, all that stuff is going to show up in your history tab. Really great area. And then we'll just look at today, but you could do a custom filtered range. If we want to see our net profit or loss, luckily, since we're just only looking at our two transactions here, our buy order and our sell order, the top here, this number at the top is totaling all the columns below, or all the columns that are selected. So if I were to just select this leg, it's showing 0 in that top right. So if I were to select both legs, 875. If I'm selecting nothing, just gonna total everything that's in the page. So in this case, looks like, hey, Scott's not firing me today, folks. We made $8.75 on the trade. Let's go. Now I can sleep tonight, happy that I still have this job. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so you can pull up your trades, click see, okay, yeah, we opened that contract for 40.74.5, closed it for 40.76.25. Based on the multiplier, which for MES is just 5, we take the point differential there, 40.76.25 minus 40.74.5, multiply by 5, and we got our amount here. So let's do some more stuff here. So that's where you can reconcile. Also, if you want to look at symbols over the year, you can check it out in this year-to-date section. So if you really want to check out how you're doing on the year, maybe give yourself a pat on the back, or just double check your existential dread, it's all there for you. But yeah, so we can check it out and see, oh yeah, okay, what's our realized gain on micro e-mini S&P futures for the year? What's a realized gain? Luckily we offset it a little bit with that trade, but we can also get down a breakdown of commissions and fees across these products too. So nice little informational area in this year-to-date section under our history tab, which is right there. So these two buckets. Now, someone wanted to go over the grid mode. So let's chat about that real quick. And something too, that I know, especially for future traders, we like having a lot of charts open. Like, I mean, I remember having like 2 monitors up with charts everywhere. I'm a little more conservative now, but I was just like, I need all my charts everywhere. So if you want to have some extra charts open in your window, check out the tastycharts tab here. Like, so imagine you have your order ticket open and you still wanted to see a big chart. Click on this 4-box screen right here. Bill, good stuff. Yeah, you want to, bigger the monitor, the better. You can add in with grid mode too, that I'll show in a second. You can get a lot of charts up. But in this window, what's most important right here is this arrow right here. When you click that, that's going to detach it from the platform, and you can drag it into another screen or a different area of your monitor at the time. So that way you can have charts up at the same time as maybe you're looking up the active trader mode, or maybe on the table mode, something like that. So very useful on our tastycharts tab. Clicking down here and clicking over here, you can pull up some extra charts. Depending on your screen's resolution, you can get more charts. So the bigger your monitor, you go full screen with your platform, the more charts that will be available as you're going along. Same applies for our grid mode that I'm going to pull up here in a second. Bill, my girlfriend, says otherwise. We're having fun today, my friend. Love to see it. Thank you for keeping the chats going. But if we look at our grid mode trading here in the trade tab, you can click on trade here, and then you can go over to grid. So click on grid there. And boom, we are in our grid mode. So it kind of looks like the window that we were just at, just a little bit different. So in the grid mode, right now, I'm just looking at 2 charts. But if you click on this arrow in the top right, and I mean, I'm working on a pretty small resolution here, so you're not going to see a lot of charts. But we can get up to 3 right now. I'm sure with a bigger monitor, you can get a bunch more rows and columns if you want. But in here, you're going to get a bunch of different charts, and you can look for each individual symbol you want. In this case, we're looking at AMD, Costco, Tesla. If we wanted to place a trade on this, we can, and also too, if you're familiar with our charting package, you can do everything on the big chart or on our tasty charts, the same with these charts too. So you want to add any indicators, drawings, stuff like that. You can do that. You can play around with the days, the aggregation and time period too. So right now we're looking at a daily chart over a year. So daily ticks over a year for all these charts, but you can go all the way down to a minute if you wanted to. Also look over like, hey, what's the minute data over a day or something like that. You can edit that there, zoom in, zoom out too with these buttons based on your time frame. And then also, if you wanted to look back a little bit more, there's a slider here for sliding back and forth for more data. Again, I'm working on a small resolution, so it looks a bit crunched, but get this in a bigger monitor, you're gonna have a lot more space. At the bottom of each of these charts is going to be where we can set up an order ticket. And now you can either just, look at the price based on where your cursor is over and go, okay, that's the price I want, I'll type it in. Or there is a functionality here where you can, let's see if I can get the left click here going, and my mouse might be, there we go. Okay, so if you right click on where your cursor is on the chart, you can start a limit order. So it's a nice feature, but it can get a little, depending on your mouse, depending on how quick you're clicking, it might not pop up right away. So, but you can still click start limit order, and then based on where you click next. So you see, as I'm going over this cursor, how that LMT and that price is moving. We click, and that changes our order price there on the ticket. So, I mean, is it worth right clicking and then clicking again? It's decent, but for the most part, you could probably scroll your mouse over, see the price and be like, okay, 83.90, type that in, it might be faster. So it's about the same speed either way, but still a nice little feature, something we're definitely working on too. But yeah, and then you're going to get your order ticket here at the bottom where you can, buy to open, change your quantity in the order ticket, up or down, and also your price too, and the order type as well. So that is just like a brief overview of our grid mode. Something to show too, just for while we're looking at it, let's pull up MES again. Or well, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point, but let's do AMD. Let's try and set a limit order. Let's buy when maybe it trades down a little bit below. Review. We get a breakdown of the trade that we're placing in, or the trade that we're placing, the account that we're placing in, and commissions and fees on the trade. Just for example, click send really quick. Market's closed, so it'll work the next session. But what's really great about when you're trading the outrights for futures or for stock, in this case for AMD, any working orders or open positions are going to show up on your chart with a little cost basis there. So it's nice to check around. And if you remember, kind of like our active trader, if you click or double click and then drag and move this around and then drop, that automatically changes your order. So it's another function of, you placed your working order there, double click or click, drag, and then the second that you drop it, it's going to send that order though. So again, got to be a little careful. Nice feature, but steady hands like a surgeon. It's definitely a nice feature, for keeping it safe. But okay, cool. So that was our grid mode. If you're interested in trading futures pairs, so like imagine you're trading like a Corbin like crush red or whatever. I'm trying to remember some of the old names, but imagine like you're trading like a little soybean corn ratio or something like that. you can click on the pairs trader icon here. And this is how you can send different pairs trades. Maybe we want to pull up /ZC and then /ZS, or actually, I'll flip those around really quick. God. Soybean is expensive, man. I guess, I don't know, corn relative has gone up quite a bit this year. So. Yeah, if you wanted to set this up, you can set up and go, oh yeah, okay, maybe we're doing the 1-to-3 ratio that a lot of people do for corn versus soybean. You can set up that order here, kind of check out the notional based on the difference between the two. There's also a little chart icon, oops, right there, and you can see, hey, where's this been trading between the two? This is the difference between the two. So nice little tool if you're trading pairs. And that, folks, pretty much wraps it up. You don't need to get too much complicated on outright futures. I could talk about options on futures right now, but for the most part, they're exactly the same as just, equity options in terms of functionality of placing an order. Imagine we pull up an options chain on Costco. We see the options chain here. We can click on it, opens up the options chain. Same thing with /MES. We type that in, pull up the chain. We see all the different expirations. Click on expand one of them. We see all the strike prices. So it's the same kind of functionality where you're either using the strategy selector tool, you're clicking on the bid and ask to open legs here, dragging and dropping. We have a great options trading demo, but again, all the functionality is essentially the same. It's just, futures are a slightly different product. They also have, the multiplier as well. So you're thinking, oh, I'm setting up a spread for, maybe 180 here or 1.80. Well, that's not $180 as you would think for equity options. Instead, it's MES has the 5 times multiplier to convert to cash. So it'd be 180 times 5. We get that right around $9 max loss. So all the same kind of ideas there. You're managing, you're checking out your open positions, like in crude oil right now. We have a little put spread on crude oil. We can see the P&L open on that. We can see our deltas and our theta, days until expiration, all that good jazz. If we wanted to see, trying to think of anything else here. I mean, that's pretty much it. If we wanted to close the position, left click both legs, right click, and go to close position. So it's the same functionality as you would see trading options for any of the products on our platform. So we got a good options trading demo that we just hosted yesterday, posted on our YouTube. Definitely check it out if you want more in depth on how to trade options. But that was more for our outright futures traders here. We'll definitely, we can look to have some more specific demos, maybe exactly on futures options if you want. Just let us know, reach out. Now that we're reaching the end here, let's just open up for Q&A. Gotcha. How do I set up a stop order? Gotcha. So if you wanted to set up a stop order either on an open position or on a new position, you can click on, so let's do it. Let's pull up MES again. And we can go down to order type here. And you could go and do a stop market or stop limit order. So that's in your order types in the bottom, stop limit, stop market. Before we were talking about bracket orders too. You can set that up by clicking on the bracket button. So if you want to take profit, stop loss. And then also when you set up a bracket order, once it's placed, you can cancel either side of the bracket too. So if you're like, oh, I just want to keep the stop, get rid of the take profit, you can cancel the take profit side and keep that stop on the bottom resting. So that's how you can set up stop orders. Hope that helped. We also have a great article, Pete, if you want to toss that in the chat there really quick on how to place stops. Rick Brown, buy one ES. Well, let's see. I mean, I guess we could if we really want to. We probably have enough buying power, but if you wanted to buy one ES, you could type it in at the top. Click on the ask here. Oh, well, actually, we got the market's closed for the weekend, so we can't really show the example, but it's just like we did for MES. We just typed in the symbol at the top, or we could click on it in our watch list on the left too. So let's go back to micro crude oil. If we wanted to pull up ES, we could do that. Click on the ask there. And now we have an order to open one long contract right there. So same functionality as opening up the micros or anything like that. Shortcut key to bring up bracket order screen from anywhere. Bill, good question. We don't really have very many platform shortcuts as of right now. It's something we looked into, something we thought about. It might be down the line. For the most part, there's just inherent risks with some hotkeys. I mean, like definitely we're built out some hotkeys for the charting tab, which is nice within the settings. But they're like very basic in terms of like hiding and showing drawings. For the most part, in terms of like trade placement or like setting up your order ticket, we generally try and stay away from hotkeys just because like there could be a lot of mispresses. I mean, generally like a grander audience will do well, but it's that like 1 to 5% that accidentally types in 1,000 futures, or like something ridiculous that they didn't want to do, and then presses a hotkey. Next thing you know, they did something they didn't want to do. So that's best explanation as to why we don't have it as of right now. How do I get to Discord Reddit? I know nothing about. So Raymond, we do have a tastytrade Reddit page. You can check it out. I go on there and answer some questions from time to time. Pretty decent community over there. And I don't know if we have any, I'm not really familiar with any Discord channels. There might be some open ones. I'll definitely toss maybe toss something in the Reddit community there and see if anyone's got a Discord going. But as of right now, I'm not aware of any, at least that I've seen. I'm sure there's quite a few. I mean, I love Discord, so I just not in the tastytrade one, if there is. So any other questions? We're about to wrap it up. Ronald, if you want to quickly through oh, I see. I don't know if Pete got back to you there, Ronald. If you open up position one. Ronald, yeah, your question. About setting a like resting order on these contracts. Yes, you can do that. You can change the TIF in the bottom right. Time in force to GTC. That stands for good till canceled. So that means that even if the market closes, your order doesn't get canceled, it's going to continue working the next day. So that's where if you wanted that kind of order type, you'd set it as GTC in the TIF in this bottom right corner. Hopefully that is what you were asking there. That's TIF GTC. Keep it resting. Again, to the point of like, say you have an open position, you go on vacation for a week, you don't have a computer. Maybe you want to set your closing orders or your resting closing orders as GTC orders if you want them to continue to work until it either reaches your mark or gets filled. So awesome. Well, I think that's about it, folks. Thanks so much for attending. We're definitely going to keep doing more of these. We have a really great let's see here 1 second. I wonder if I could pull that up. Sorry, folks. Let's get that really quick. Yeah, here we go. Sorry, something was funky going on with Zoom there. But you can pull up the help center here. Really great. Say you wanted to enable futures trading in your account. Type in enable futures. Click on that. You got a full help article on, what kind of accounts can trade futures? What are the minimums? How long does it take to get approved? All the questions you got right there. Ronald, do you have alerts? Great question, my friend. Glad you asked. Thank you. Love to see it. We do. Yes, we do. It's on the right side panel here. So yeah, it's not easy to find off the bat for sure. But on this right side panel, you see this bell icon. You can set alerts and you can have it go as either it'll populate on your platform, or you can also, there should be a settings in communications here. You can get fill notifications, but also if you turn on push notifications on our management website, you'll get a push notification to your phone if you have the mobile app downloaded when that certain alert is triggered. So to your point, like, hey, like I want an alert popping up on my phone when S&P reaches a certain point. You can set it up in this alert section in the top right. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for the questions, folks. You were great. Bill, you made me laugh, friend. It's not easy to do. So Thank you. Big shout out to Pete. Big thank you to Pete for answering questions as we're going along. We got more demos coming up. Keep your eyes out. We have a brand new web platform coming out soon. We're going to have some demos on that. It is really crisp. It is really great. Definitely something you're going to want to check out. So yeah, look at our live demos page, sign up for some more. Check out our YouTube channel too. We'll always post our recordings there. Give it a subscribe and you can see what we're posting, what kind of demos are coming up. But awesome. Well, have a nice rest of your week, folks. We got one more day of trading until we hit the weekend. Let's see what the market does. It's a little wacky wild, but yeah, get some good sleep, get some good food, everyone. And we'll definitely send out a recording to everyone soon. So have a nice rest of your nights. Peace.